Reedsburg is a city in Sauk County, Wisconsin, along the Baraboo River. The population was 10,014 at the 2010 census. The city is surrounded by the town of Reedsburg. It is part of the Baraboo Micropolitan Statistical Area. History. James W. Babb and his wife Rebecca Scarf Babb brought their family to Wisconsin from Ohio in the mid-1840s, at a place 55 miles northeast of Mineral Point, the capital of Wisconsin Territory. Long identified by the Winnebago who inhabited these lands as a convenient place to cross the Baraboo River, Babb left a flat-bottomed boat to help move supplies at Babb's Ford. In 1847, David C. Reed built a dam and a shanty to house the workers who constructed it. In June 1848, a sawmill followed. By 1850, Shanty Row comprised 5 tamarack shanties. Reedsburg was platted in 1852, and 4 years later the town had grown to 50 buildings serving 27 families and 122 people. The community continued under town government until 1868, when Reedsburg was incorporated as a village. It became a city in May 1887. In the 1860s, a hop boom temporarily brought wealth into the area. The Chicago and Northwestern Railway, CNNW, arrived in 1872. In 1880, the Reedsburg Brewing Company was formed. Other industries followed. Among the most important was the Reedsburg Woolen Mill. Construction was completed in 1882, and by 1899, 32 broad looms produced mainly fancy casimeres for Chicago markets. In 1902, the facility was purchased by Appleton Woolen Mills, and began producing clothing for East Coast outlets. Sears and Montgomery Wards became 2 major clients. In 1954, when Appleton Woolen Mills shifted focus to felts, the business in Reedsburg reorganized to emphasize novelty fabrics. The Reedsburg Woolen Mill, long one of the area's largest employers, endured until 1967. Most of the mill complex burned in April 1968, leaving only the mill office. Also important has been the Hankscraft Company, incorporated in Madison in 1920. Hankscraft, makers of baby bottle warmers, sterilizers and other products, thrived during the post-war baby boom, and in 1949 opened a plant in Reedsburg. In 1961, Hankscraft purchased Nursematic Corporation, expanding the line include to bassinets, safety harnesses, baby toiletries and other products. A year later, the acquisition of Ruzica Laboratories allowed the firm to expand once more, adding vaporizer fluids, baby oil, shampoo and lotions. In 1970, Hankscraft was purchased by Gerber Products Company, and began producing baby food. It was the town's second largest employer, exceeded only by the Reedsburg Woolen Mill. In 1996, Gerber Products Company sold Hankscraft Motors, which continues to operate in Reedsburg. Other important industries have included Greed Foundry, Seats, Inc., and the Columbia Car Corporation. In 1984, the Main Street Commercial Historic District was added to the National Register of Historic Places. In 1993, 22 miles of the CNNW rail line between Reedsburg and Elroy became the Wisconsin 400 State Trail, a biking trail named for the passenger rail line that was said to travel the 400 miles between Chicago and Minneapolis, St. Paul in 400 minutes. In 2011, Reedsburg became home of the annual Fermentation Fest, a live culture convergence, a 10-day celebration of agriculture, food and farming that attracts over 10,000 participants. An initiative of the Worm Farm Institute, a Reedsburg-based non-profit that celebrates and strengthens links between rural and urban communities with sustainable agriculture and the arts. The festival includes classes, performances, and the Farm Art Detour, a juried show of temporary art installations and produce stands that unfolds along 50 miles of local roads. Geography. Reedsburg is located at 43 degrees 32 minutes 1 second north, 90 degrees 0 minutes 10 seconds west, 43.533,854, minus 90.002902. According to the United States Census Bureau, the city has a total area of 5.93 square miles, 15.36 square kilometers, of which 5.83 square miles, 15.10 square kilometers, is land and 0.10 square miles, 0.26 square kilometers, is water. The Baraboo River flows through the city. Reedsburg is 12 miles southwest of the Wisconsin Dells along the Baraboo River, with scenic views of the Baraboo Range to the south. Reedsburg is located directly on the 90th meridian west. A pink quartzite marker on Main Street reads 325 feet east of this point lies the 90th meridian. The marker was dedicated on October 14, 1963. To designate Reedsburg's unique location. It was donated by Whitney Memorials and erected by the Kiwanis Club. Demographics. 2010 census. As of the census of 2010, there were 9,200 people, 3,795 households, and 2,357 families residing in the city. The population density was 1578.0 inhabitants per square mile, 609.3 per square kilometers. There were 4,103 housing units at an average density of 703.8 per square mile, 271.7 per square kilometers. The racial makeup of the city was 95.3% white, 0.6% African American, 1.0% Native American, 0.4% Asian, 1.6% from other races, and 1.1% from 2 or more races. Hispanic or Latino of any race were 4.3% of the population. There were 3,795 households, of which 34.5% had children under the age of 18 living with them. 46.0% were married couples living together. 11.2% had a female householder with no husband present. 5.0% had a male householder with no wife present. And 37.9% were non-families. 31.9% of all households were made up of individuals and 14.9% had someone living alone, who was 65 years of age or older. The average household size was 2.41 and the average family size was 3.04. The median age in the city was 35.7 years. 27% of residents were under the age of 18. 7.5% were between the ages of 18 and 24. 28.2% were from 25 to 44. 22.4% were from 45 to 64. And 14.9% were 65 years of age or older. The gender makeup of the city was 48.4% male and 51.6% female. 2000 census. As of the census of 2000, there were 7,827 people, 3,193 households, and 2021 families residing in the city. The population density was 1503.9 people per square mile, 581.2 per square kilometers. There were 3,380 housing units, 251.0 per square kilometers, 649.4 square mi. The racial makeup of the city was 97.44% white, 0.17% Black or African American, 0.79% Native American, 0.19% Asian, 0.01% Pacific Islander, 0.61% from other races, and 0.78% from two or more races. 1.58% of the population were Hispanic or Latino of any race. There were 3,193 households, out of which 32.9% had children under the age of 18 living with them. 49.1% were married couples living together. 9.8% had a female householder with no husband present, and 36.7% were non-families. 29.8% of all households were made up of individuals, and 14.5% had someone living alone, who was 65 years of age or older. The average household size was 2.41 and the average family size was 13.01. In the city, the population was spread out with 26.7% under the age of 18, 8.5% from 18 to 24, 30.3% from 25 to 44, 18.2% from 45 to 64, and 16.2% who were 65 years of age or older. The median age was 35 years. For every 100 females there were 92.8 males. For every 100 females age 18 and over, there were 87.4 males. The median income for a household in the city was $39,152, and the median income for a family was $44,329. Males had a median income of $33,211 versus $21,973 for females. The per capita income for the city was $18,828. About 5.5% of families and 7.5% of the population were below the poverty line, including 7.3% of those under age 18 and 8.1% of those age 65 or over. Economy. Sound Devices is headquartered in Reedsburg. Greed Foundries and Land's End are two major employers. Transportation. There is access to Interstate 90, 94 and State Highways 33 and 23. The city is served by the Reedsburg Municipal Airport. C35. Notable people. City of Reedsburg. Reedsburg Public Library. Sanborn Fire Insurance Maps. 1885-1892, 1898, 1904, 1912, 1918.